For our purposes in training, I'm going to select this image loader, Blue 2. And I'm just going to click on Select. This is where the image is going to go. It tells you right away that the size is 670 by 540 pixels. Now I'm going to click on Image Editor. Click here to upload an image. Choose our file. Just like any other browser, this is going to take you to your computer, to your desktop, or wherever on your computer that you have images stored. Here's the one I want, so I'm just going to choose it and select Upload. And there's our image. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger for us. Now, the original image that we just uploaded happens to be 500 by 500. And you can see down here that it's reminding us, however, that our template wanted that image to be 670 by 540. And you can see that there's space left here on both sides of our image. So it's not exactly the right size. If we used it just like it is, and we could, it would leave where you see these sort of checkered bars. It would actually show the template background right through. So you'd see this gray on both sides of this image. And obviously that's really not what you want to do. So we come up here and we see that there are some options here to let us edit our image. Stretch, and I'm going to click on it in a second and I'll show you. Stretch is sometimes a really good answer if the truth is your image is quite close to being the right size. You can stretch and you're done, and it's really not noticeable. When there's this much of a gap, however, I'm going to click on Stretch, I'll show you. When there's that much of a gap, you can see that it has to stretch it way too much to make it really work for you. There are some other choices here, and I'm just going to click on Crop Proportionately. It's often one of the best answers for you. And you can see that the image went away down here, so that as we do some things here in cropping, you'll be able to see the result in this box. And you'll notice how my mouse changes when I come up here to sort of that crosshairs. And I'm just going to come up here, click with my mouse, hold it down and drag. Don't worry how far you drag, it will stop you, it's automatic. And it's dragging it to the shape that it needs to be for this template. And you can see that as I move it around, the image itself changes down here, so you can see what happens if I crop it high or low, or perhaps right in the middle. And I think I want to crop it a little bit higher. I like that. So I'm just going to click Save. And what that's going to do is give me a little thumbnail here and actually show us what the image looks like in the template. Now let's click on our little text bar. It takes us into this text box. And here we can type text. We can change the color of the text, the size of the text, and how it's aligned. So let's just start by typing in some text. So saving my pennies has paid off. How's that? So let's suppose we like that little saying there. We can click on OK, and we'll see how it shows up in the template. I like it, but it's higher than I want it to be. So now I can go back into that little text bar and click on it. It takes me into the box. So again, just like any word processor, I can put my cursor there and maybe tab it down a couple spaces. Maybe that's too much. Let's go see. No, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to click in that box again. Now, the color of the text, I do like it white, but I want to show you that you can change it. So you just click on Color, and our color palette or color picker shows up. And it's easy to use, but also wonderfully sophisticated. Can give you any color that you want. You can see that if I click in here, in this red, you'll see that it shows you the new color over here. I can use this little slider and it will go all the way through the entire color spectrum. You'll notice as I'm clicking through this that the numbers here change. If you know your color numbers, you can just enter them. If you know the actual hex number for your color, you can just double click here and put your color in. Great way to match brand colors, colors of your logo, other colors that you use in your company. I highly recommend doing that whenever you can. It also would be a place that, let's suppose you run across this particular color, you really love it, and you want to use it frequently in spots for text or backgrounds. If you'll just look down here and jot down that hex number, you'll be able to come back anytime you want and get exactly that same color. You can see the little boxes over here. Let me click and very easily get a particular color. And again, you could either remember which particular box you chose to get that green if you like it, or just jot down that text number here and you could come back anytime. For our purposes here though, I just want to kind of show you, let's go ahead and just pick a yellow and we'll say okay. And we'll come over here and say okay. And you'll see that it's changed our text from white to yellow. So I'm going to go in here again and show you just a couple of other things that this particular text box will let you do. If you click here, it's a drop down. These are the font sizes. And you can see you can go from fairly small to quite large. And the other thing here is the alignment. This is left justified right now, but you could center that text or right justify it. So it lets you change that if you want. But I like the way this looks, so let's just say okay. So lastly, we just need to name it. And I think I'm going to call it Lady with Pig. So I'm just going to click here on Review, and it lets me see a much bigger template, so I can really take a look at the spot I've created. And if I wanted to edit it, I can click here, and it'll take me right back to where we were. But in this case, I like it, so we're going to save it. And the message will tell you that it has been successfully saved in your content library. And if you'll remember, anytime you either create, upload, or select from the catalog, it'll always come over here in your content library, which you'll find under Schedule.